This is HAPO Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good morning and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal. It's Thursday, March 28th. At this moment, we're having some problems with our videos playing, but we are working hard on getting that up and running soon. Sometimes things happen, but it's not going to stop us from bringing you your top headlines. Starting off, we are following up with new details in the City of Kennewick's voluntary watering schedule. The Kennewick Irrigation District has now laid out what the plans are. It's based on where you live. For example, if your address was 2015 South Eli Street, you would have the opportunity to water 20 minutes per zone on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday evening. The district says hose and drip line irrigation is not impacted by this schedule. The question now, though, will this schedule be mandatory? Officials say bi-weekly updates will start in April as to how the water supply is doing. A fraud investigation, the state auditor's office uncovered thousands of dollars of misused taxpayer funds across 7 Yakima County special purpose districts in recent years. Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell reports the auditor's office traced it all back to one bookkeeper.
The auditor's office tells me the problem wasn't that the bookkeeper was providing services to multiple agencies, but that none of those agencies were keeping a close eye on her accounting. They found that between January 2019 and June 2023, she misappropriated at least $9,000 in taxpayer money and had an additional $17,000 in questionable expenses. They say she did that by overdrawing funds without approval, submitting the same expenses for reimbursement to multiple agencies, and through unusual payroll disbursements. The auditor's office says most districts didn't have a contract with her or have any oversight of her accounting.
If you have someone writing their own paycheck, that's inherently a weakness. And so across all of these schemes, the common theme is that folks were essentially trusting the bookkeeper not to take more or to misappropriate or in some way violate the rules.
In more Yakima news, the city got $26.2 million in federal COVID relief funds through the America Rescue Plan Act, but not all of it's been spent yet. They've used it to buy police and fire vehicles, also purchasing the former Bank of America, the building downtown, and putting some towards the aquatic center at Martin Luther King Jr. Park. They also have $8.9 million set aside for pending projects like the mill site, the new domestic violence shelter, as well as community partnerships and projects. But nearly $60,000 of that is still up for grabs.
Can we just mark, and I've asked Dave this question, is can we mark that as lost revenue and use it as revenue source for the parking lots?
Staff says they'll look at all the options and give the council their recommendations in the summer. Funds must be allocated by the end of this year and spent by the end of 2026, or they go back to the federal government. Great news for people that shop online a lot. No, I don't have new ways you can hide them from your husband, but I can tell you about Pasco's new sorting and delivery center. This will make receiving your mail and packages a lot more efficient. I got the chance to tour the new facility, and I have an in-depth look at the center. You could be receiving your mail sooner as a new sorting and delivery center has been positioned right here in Pasco. It's located at 3500 West Court Street. It's where the Pasco post office is, but it has expanded.
The carrier's casing equipment is new. The facility has new restrooms, break rooms, and we have 2 brand new sorting machines for the back sorting. What else? We're going to get all new vehicles, and we have new parking lots and EV hookups.
The sorting and delivery center has new equipment that speeds up the package sorting process by 50%. The old system would sort about 2,000 pieces per hour, and the new machine sorts 3,000 per hour. However, it doesn't just stop there. Newer upgrades will be added in the coming weeks, which will sort 4,000 pieces of mail per hour. The machine scans the barcode on the package and then sections them out into bins that are organized by route and zip code. Before the new equipment, people had to sort the mail into bins manually. There's also a secondary machine that is smaller with 84 sectioned bins, whereas the bigger one has 150 bins. The Pasco Sorting and Delivery Center serves more than 100,000 addresses in the cities of Burbank, Kennewick, Pasco, Richland, and West Richland. It serves about 7 zip codes, and fun fact, the sections are color-coded corresponding to the city's high school colors. For example, the Kennewick sections are orange. The more than 100,000 square foot facility is one of the first sorting and delivery centers to be opened in the country. It's all part of USPS's 10-year plan to make mail delivery service faster and more reliable. Tri-Cities was chosen as one of the first 31 facilities due in part to the volume of mail. This area has the greatest amount of packages per route in Washington, and they're continuing to add more routes. It's also because of the continued growth of the Tri-Cities area. We spoke with the Postal Operations Manager of Southeastern Washington, Ina Butler, and she tells us this is great for the community.
It's going to speed up our delivery. It's going to enable us to do more same-day delivery versus next-day delivery. It takes away a little bit of the human error, and it also makes everything more visual. Every single barcode is read, so every person can track every package.
If mail is dropped off at 8 a.m., it will be delivered the same day. After 8 a.m., it'll be delivered the following day. The new center is USPS's attempt to modernize the old postal network. Other benefits of the new facility include smart lockers, mobile app self-service kiosks, rapid drop-off stations, and fingerprinting. And celebrations took place yesterday for the HAPO Community Credit Union as they hosted a ribbon cutting for their new Belmont location. The new branch is off of Queensgate in West Richland at 6185 Keene Road, and this is now their 20th location. People celebrated with food and drinks, and they offered new member specials. Crystal Contreras, the Community Relations Director with HAPO, says HAPO takes pride in being a conveniently located financial institution.
Our goal with this branch is just to expand our footprint and be able to offer another conveniently located financial center for our members in our community.
Contreras says that HAPO is constantly looking for ways to improve what they already do, so they are always on the lookout for possible other locations. In consumer news, gas prices are rising fast all across the country, but here in Washington and Oregon, we are especially feeling the pinch. Apple Valley News Now's Austin Reed met with a local expert in oil and gas who says there are many reasons behind the increase.
Rod Smith is the vice president of R.H. Smith Distributing, headquartered in Grandview. His family has been in the business of oil and gas since 1947.
Well, first off, crude oil is over $80 a barrel, hasn't been that high since October. And then we're moving into summer blend gasoline, so the refiners are producing a grade of gas that is more expensive. It happens every year.
The national average for regular unleaded is $3.53, but for us here in Washington and Oregon, we are a part of the top 10 states with the most expensive gas. Washington comes in at number 3, while Oregon is ranked 5th highest. Are there some reasons, though, for the uptick that maybe the public doesn't realize? Maybe some other reasons why?
Well, there's a local one. You know, the locks on the Columbia River have been closed since mid-January. And so there's no barge traffic coming up the Columbia to Tri-Cities, where there's normally barges that haul fuel into Pasco.
Smith tells me the river is set to open by this weekend, and that will hopefully help the supply issue, which could bring prices down a tiny bit. But there's more.
Well, recall that the Climate Commitment Act that went into effect January 1st of last year has increased Washington state gas prices, gas and diesel prices, by 50-60 cents a gallon.
That law, introduced by Governor Inslee, caps and reduces greenhouse gas emissions from the state's largest emitting sources, allowing businesses to find the most efficient path to lower carbon emissions. There could be one final saving grace for us, though, and that is...
It's an election year, so sometimes that's a good thing for gas prices because they tend to not go up as much, but we don't know.
As of last night, the national average is sitting around $3.53 per gallon, but Smith also says the war in Ukraine is continuing to impact the global supply. In education news now, more upheaval for WSU as they're trying to navigate losing most of the schools in the Pac-12. WSU Athletic Director Pat Chun is leaving, heading across the state to UW. ESPN reports the University of Washington has hired Chun for a 6-year deal starting today, It comes 1 week after UW's former athletic director left to go work for Nebraska. The move also means that Chun will be going back to the Big Ten when UW makes that move this fall. He had previously spent 15 years at Ohio State. Now we'll check in on your forecast with meteorologist Tiffany Savona. Tiffany, what can we expect as we head out the door this morning?
We can expect a lot of clouds, Jessica, but it's much drier than it was at this time yesterday. And it was a soaker in some locations across the region. The highest totals were found along the foothills of the Blues as expected. Pendleton actually broke their daily rainfall total for yesterday's date as they picked up 61/100ths of an inch of rain. So that will go down as a new record for March 27th. Walla Walla, we picked up half an inch. Hermiston, 36/100ths of an inch. Tri-Cities just below 1/4 of an inch. Benton City, a little bit less than that, 15/100ths, and barely any rain in Yakima, only 4/100ths of an inch there. But we will continue to eat away at that monthly deficit. It has been a very dry month so far. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. 43 in the Tri-Cities, 41 Walla Walla, 42 in Prosser, 40 in Toppenish, and 38 degrees in Yakima. We do have partly to mostly cloudy skies out there, a couple of sprinkles just to the north and northeast of Connell and around the Dayton area, but most of us will be starting off dry, and most of the day will be dry today. That storm system that brought us the rain yesterday now pushing off to the east, but we still have an upper low spinning offshore, so that's still bringing us some moisture, and with that energy so close by, we can't rule out a shower or even a thunderstorm developing across the region this afternoon. They will be very isolated in nature, and the chances are low, but it's certainly a possibility. Tomorrow, that system will slide to the south, bringing more rain to portions of Northern California. So that means the weather will improve for us, and we will continue to see a warm up as Saturday we'll start to see the pattern change, especially on Sunday for Easter. That means that this new pattern will bring us more sunshine and warmer weather. So that'll be nice. We'll have nice weather for the upcoming holiday weekend. So let's time everything out for you hour by hour today. We're partly to mostly cloudy throughout the day. There are those pop-up showers, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder on and off through the afternoon. Better chances along the foothills of the Blues, but most of the day is still looking dry with highs in the 50s, upper 50s, lower 60s. So you may want to bring the umbrella just in case this afternoon if you're going to be heading out for lunch or maybe when you're heading home from work. Tonight, mostly cloudy. We're into the mid and upper 30s. And then by tomorrow, we're looking at another seasonable day. We'll start off with a lot of clouds. Those clouds will be clearing out, giving way to more sunshine late in the day with highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Easter weekend is looking fantastic, and look at your Easter Sunday forecast. It will be cold in the mornings, but by the afternoon, let those kids go play outside. 68 degrees in the Tri-Cities, 67 in Yakima, and 61 degrees in Walla Walla. Your 7-day forecast showing that a gradual warm-up is in the forecast after today. We're in the 70s Monday and Tuesday. Yakima, 56 today, slight chance for a stray shower, 59 tomorrow with a lot of clouds, and then we're in the 60s, getting close to 70 on Sunday. We'll be in the 70s early next week. Walla Walla, we have that slightly better chance for some scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. No severe weather expected. We'll hold on to a slight chance for a shower tomorrow, and then we're finally in the 60s on Easter, 62 with 70s. Back in the forecast on Tuesday. Hermiston, 60 degrees, slight chance for a thunderstorm today, this afternoon I should say, 60 degrees tomorrow, and then warming up into the upper 60s on Easter Sunday. Jessica?
Thank you, Tiffany, and you've got me excited for Easter weekend, and thank you for waking up with us and watching Good Morning Northwest. You can always find the latest updates on our website, applevalley.newsnow.com.